Remember Reach. Two words that unite a fandom as thoroughly as May the Force be with you or The Emperor protects. It's also a promise. I'll remember Reach, remember the camaraderie, the grit, the sacrifice. Noble Team was well named. Hello and welcome, Internet friends, to my review of Halo Reach. If you take on the role of Noble Six, I promise you too will remember Reach. Also, if you want an even greater look than what will shortly follow, I recommend subscribing as I'm currently streaming my way through the Halo series here on the channel, so don't miss out. For a lot of people, Halo has defined console multiplayer shooters. While I too have played more than my share of Capture the Flag or Slayer, Halo has always been, to me, about the story. In a time where sci-fi shooters didn't really need a story, Halo Combat Evolved changed that. A prequel, Halo Reach takes the sad lone hero of the Master Chief and works backwards to a time where Spartans were far from extinct, but still rare enough to be a rallying force for the more common soldiers and Marines. In Halo Reach, you'll play as Noble Six, a Spartan recently assigned to bring Noble Team back to full strength. Your inclusion in the ranks isn't universally welcome, as you get the feeling you have some very large boots to fill. Before the lukewarm greetings are properly in the past, you learn you have a mission. Areas on the planet have started going silent and your squad is dispatched to check things out. This highlights a part of the Halo series that I think sets it apart from the rest of your standard FPS campaigns. That thing is pacing. 6 hours in, you'll look at all the crazy shit you've done, all the firefights, the close calls, and the massive set-piece moments, and you'll ask yourself, did this game really start with a boring patrol that felt like a walking simulator for a few solid minutes? Having played the vast majority of Halo games, I'm inclined to say that Reach's pacing stands head and shoulders above the rest. This is made possible by the fact that it's a prequel, and the devs were allowed to assume to an extent that we know the basics of the world. We know what a Spartan is, we know who the UNSC are, and as much as any human can know, we know what the Covenant are. As such, we can get right to it, and within a mission or two, the action is already turned up to 11. It's subtle, though. Not gradual per se, but appropriate. It wasn't until I looked back well beyond the halfway point that I was struck with a sense of wonder and found myself asking, did I really do all of that? I think the soundtrack is something that allowed Halo Reach to ramp itself up to such a wonderful crescendo so effortlessly. It isn't noteworthy in itself, it's just another Halo soundtrack, but that itself is something. The Halo menu choir practically invented those TikToks where someone says, hey there, we need a soundtrack for a first-person shooter, no need to write a masterpiece, and then I noticed the marriage of martial beats and choir vocals sneaking into some of the larger hell yeah moments in Reach. At this stage, it's not breaking the mold, it's falling into step. Halo has an identity that is as much auditory as it is visual. Fans know what an energy sword sounds like just as much as any Star Wars fan could point to the lightsaber blindfolded by hum alone. Reach has the Halo DNA without a doubt. The bark of a sniper rifle, the whine of a Covenant ghost, hell, even the clinking of frag grenades bouncing on stone takes me back to the first time I took control of Master Chief with a controller that weighed more than some real-world handguns that I've fired. I never realized how much I wanted a more team-focused Halo until I was deep into Reach's campaign. It was a big gamble. Halo was about a mostly silent Master Chief being a demigod among the men and women of the UNSC military. In Reach, we have a team, and the player is called on to take on more tasks. You will get to operate more than the iconic Warthog and Scorpion tank, and while I'd be lying if I said the newer vehicles handled great all the time, I appreciate the risk that was taken, and a lot of those levels ended up being some of my favorites. The scope feels unmistakably larger than most Halo titles I'd played before this, and it leads itself to a climax that won't be leaving my heart anytime soon. Buy this game. Buy the whole damn Master Chief collection. And now, on to the You Might Also Like section. I think Halo Reach did a good job of exploring the camaraderie and black humor found in most tightly knit military units. You can't really get much darker than Spec Ops: The Line, initially showing itself to be a fairly generic third-person shooter. Spec Ops: The Line ends up exploring some very dark issues surrounding PTSD and what it means to always place the mission first. The next game I recommend is also an Xbox Series turned PC ass-kicking clown fiesta. That game is Gears 5. You follow the Phoenix family and friends as you shoot, stab, and chainsaw monsters in your attempt to save the planet. It has heart-wrenching moments and hell yeah moments, which makes me think it's a worthy play when you're done with Reach. And if you walked away from Halo Reach's tale of sacrifice, honor, and courage, and your first thought was, man, I wish there were more dick and fart jokes in there, then this one's for you. Borderlands 3 isn't a great tale of brothers and sisters in arms. It isn't even necessarily a great story at all, but it's fun. Crazy guns, crazier side characters, and oh, so many explosions. You deserve an emotional recharge, Spartan. Enjoy the raunchiness. And until next time, I've been Septimus of the Grim Alliance, and you've been an amazing audience. I thank you.